We own.
Jay Foster.
What's up?
Welcome to Kingdom Community.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
So, Jay Foster, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Jay Foster, go by J5. Born and raised in Dallas, went to Carter High School. From there, I went to Howard Payne University, which is D3. Transferred from there, went to Grambling State University. And then from there, I went to camps and ended up getting signed low-level Mexico League, played in Mexico. And from there, I've been able to go to Barcelona, Iceland, and Germany. As far as playing wise, now I am a part of a partnership with a gym, Untitled Fitness Lab in Grand Prairie, and I also house my company, which is J5 Sports Performance, inside of the building where we do all kind of sports training from football, basketball, track, and then of course fitness as well.
Okay, I didn't know that. Where's that at?
J5, really.
Okay.
He got a
Get
lot of
address.
moving parts.
Address 605 East Palace Parkway in Grand Prairie, Texas. If you go down 30 and you know where the old Verizon Theater is, which is now Texas Trust, it's right across the street from that, and it's right behind Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Oh, okay,
So
I know
can't
what
miss
believe
it.
it or not.
Mhm.
And I
Can't
was,
miss it.
and I'll be when you come in here and work out with Keith. I'm like, why is this dude training? What's he training for? Is he trying to go with me, or what's the deal?
Man, it's with me. It's just a habit, really. I've been working out for so long.
It's just a live. It's just a lifestyle.
And then I try to keep up. Being that I train kids, so you know you always have that one kid that you train that think you can't tell them.
Right.
Nah, I can still get out there with you. I can still get out there with you. So I like to be a person that practice what I preach.
Okay.
I can't tell you to work out and
Yeah.
get up and put forth effort if I'm sitting on my tail.
That's real.
So,
Yeah.
And that's what the brand. So unpack J5, unpack like the name, the brand,
okay.
and all the moving parts.
So it basically started with me, of course. My name is Jay, and then I always play in the number 5. So my friends started calling me J5. And then maybe like my first year playing, I had some kids that started following my social media, and they was like, "Hey, we want you to train us." And I was like, "Man, I don't really do no training. I ain't no trainer." But I was like, you know what? If y'all want to work out when I get back home, y'all can wake up with me at 4:00. You know, go to the gym, get up shots. And of course, me thinking I didn't think they was not even gonna do it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
But at 4 in the morning,
I'm gonna test them to see where their heart is.
Ain't gonna get up at 4:00, but they ended up coming. And they came faithfully, and through that, like they started to get better. I think they season after that, they points of average went up. So I was like, maybe it's a little nick for me to do. Like maybe this, I can get a feel for it. So I actually start diving into it and like reading books and different stuff like that, meeting different people that train, kind of picking up on some of the things that they did.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, like they all ended up, I actually got all of them signed to Division I colleges. So I was happy about that. So, and then one of them had 32 in the state game. Another one won state. So I was like, man, let me turn this into something to do. You know, I can't play basketball field.
Right,
that's
true.
Injuries, stuff like that. So after that, I started thinking about the name. What would be?
So what year was this?
This was, I say, 2014, 15.
Okay.
And I started thinking about the name, and then one of my homegirls at the time, my best friend, was like, "Why you just want to use your name?" And I was like, "Well, that makes sense, but it can't just be J5. It got to be something that really stick out." So I turned that into an acronym. So J5 stands for Join Forever, Igniting Virtuous Effort. And I basically put that because, of course, you all know as a coach, like, or a trainer, these kids really become your kids.
Yeah, for sure.
So even whether it's playing basketball or whatever, like I've had them reach out to me for personal issues, you know, help with homework, different advice. So regardless if we playing, we always gonna be joined in a way. So I was like, we joined together and we all working towards a common goal that we have to give effort to, whether it be basketball, whether it be scholarship, whether it be, you know, being a better man, raising a family, whatever the case may be, we all gonna be joined. So that's how I came up with the name. Been rocking with it ever since.
That's dope, man. You got merch as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, we I just got with designers, so we designed some things to come out. The merchant part of it is gonna be called Forever 5. So we're gonna have that coming out. We're gonna have track suits, hoodies, shirts. The shirts are gonna have different quotes on them, workout apparel. So I launched the website. Of course, I'll share that with y'all so y'all can post it. But yeah, so I'm looking to drop that at the end of this summer.
That's fire, man. So what's the big vision, the overarching vision? Like location, money, none of that's an option. Like, what do you want J5 Enterprises to be?
Really, I just want to be like kind of. You guys have academy as well, but that's kind of where I want to go. As far as just having a academy that really puts out a solid brand of basketball, because I feel like that's what's missing for the game. Kids watch NBA, they see all the threes and the shooting, but they don't really dive into the aspects of the X's and O's.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can show you moves here and there, but if you don't know when to apply them or what situations to use them in, then it's really not beneficial.
For sure.
So just putting forth that great brand of basketball to where they can translate that into real life scenarios. Because me personally, like playing basketball, the discipline that I've gathered from waking up, working out, going to practice, getting up shots, watching film, that translates to my everyday life. Like even with being a father, you know, it translates into, okay, if I don't get this done, then I got to do this. So putting that all together to just have a place where they can come, get up shots, get quality film study, learn how to watch film, and then also learn how to be business people. Because at the end of the day, basketball is a business.
Right.
So you're a brand, just like you guys are a brand. I'm a brand. You have to. I need them to learn certain aspects like you can't do. As far as like social media, you have to carry yourself like you're a brand.
Right, for sure.
You have to be marketable, especially if you want to go D1. Because coaches look at that. And me also being a player development coach for university at UNT Dallas, I know like off top, if we look at your social media and you smoking and you doing, we not paying no mind because you at this point you're a liability.
For sure, and there's too many options. So it's like if you're borderline, like okay, he's a little bit better than this kid, but we know this is a safe bet. We know this is a low maintenance kid. That's what that's the terms they use. We're gonna pick that all day long.
Exactly. Yeah. So you gotta watch this. So just making sure doing that is really what I want to do, and I want to do like I was talking to you about like a retreat.
Yep.
So where we got to kind of get like a group of kids that's getting ready to go to college, maybe they senior year, and like a month in the summer, we like rent out a cabin and got a court, and we just really dive into film study and branding,
nutrition and all that.
Yeah, all of that. And
that's good, man.
Give them a good dose so they can be acclimated when they get to college. It's not like a shot. Because that's how it was for me. I was like, what?
That's real. And the thing that's crazy too, as you're saying that, like with the nutrition piece, like there's programs or teams that provide it, but you and I both know when you're in college, you're on your own. Like, you know what I mean? It's not about, hey, eat this. No, it's how to prepare this. Here's some simple things that you can make in your dorm or, in your apartment, and that you can prep it out and be sustainable to be able to meet your goals, right? So I think that's another key aspect that we should even look into doing now, like helping kids kind of take control of their own future and take care of themselves more at a higher level.
Right. And being able to do that now instead of waiting until it's too late.
Right. Because I mean, their parents are investing money in them being a part of a program, like, and they have to understand that they have a responsibility. Like as a kid, you have a responsibility. Your job is to not just get carted all over the world and go everywhere and spend your parents' money. It's about learning and helping and figuring out how can I serve my family in return. Right. So I'm using the gifts that I have to bless my own family. So if a kid's making his own meals, that's gonna take a load off of the parents.
They have so many resources now, like, and they don't even know half of the resources that they have as far as the meals. Like we were just talking about, they got high schools now got shooting guns in the gym, Bird Maxes. They got trainers. They doing all kind of, like when we was coming up, we didn't have that. Like, my shooting
you was
gun
on your own.
Hey, come rebound.
Right.
Yeah, and then it was that, and then the first shooting gun was the one that had no mechanical parts. It was like the ramps. It had like 5 different ramps from all the spots on the course. The ball just rolled down. It took like 5 minutes to get to you. Yeah, so times have changed, man.
So do you have teams?
I did. I have Gators Elite, which is one of my friends. I started helping him with that. They basically started. His father started it, and then when his father passed, we kind of just kept it going. But with me traveling as much as I do, with the UNT team and then the business and running, I really don't have that dedicated time to just. And I didn't want to do a disservice by being a coach, and then I can't make the practices for the game. So I kind of just run the back end of the operations and stuff like that.
So with the UNT, what are you doing with the UNT team?
So basically, player
consist?
development. So really, all the players, they either. So it's our second year having a program.
Okay.
So we started in 2020. Actually, was the first year we had a program, but of course that was a COVID year.
Right.
So we really don't count that year. But so they come to my facility. Basically, since I have like a weight room, we don't have facilities and stuff yet. So we do weight workouts, conditioning, plyometrics, stretching, yoga, and then of course I do film study as well. So we go through all the film to kind of do. I'm trying to give them that D1 feel because you know at a D1 university you have your weight workouts, you have your team workouts, then you have your individual workouts where you work on whatever it is they see fit for you as an individual. So that's kind of what I do for them, as well as I help with the recruiting, and then of course coaching during the game. But Josh does a tremendous job. Both seasons we've been above 500.
Shout out to Josh Howard.
Josh Howard, yes sir.
Yeah, big dog.
We've been above 200 this year. They had us ranked to be 12th in the conference, but we ended up being second in the conference.
Okay.
So we on the up and up. Definitely on the up and up with that. So I just look forward to the next season. The next season is gonna be even better.
Man, so how does the recruitment process work for you at that? Because you guys what D2?
D1.
Okay, so tell me, how do you go about recruiting kids? Like, do they take it serious? You know, we talk about it, everybody's got D1 dreams.
Right.
So when you approach them, are they open? Like, kind of unpack that aspect of your job.
I take more of a personal approach if I talk to a kid. A lot of times, me personally, I go for the kids that I've trained or that I know that's in the Dallas area that have been slept on in a way. You know, they have the potential, they just need the opportunity.
Right.
So I go to them first. You know, I talk to them, talk to their parents. And then also Dallas, a lot of the Dallas schools have this program called Dallas Promise. So it's basically where they take dual credit classes in high school. And so with UNT Dallas being a part of the Dallas college systems, any kid that participates in that program gets to go to college free anyway.
Okay.
So we don't have the quote unquote scholarship funding that's a bigger university. But if you take that program and then you add the money we do add, you basically going to school free and you get the refund too. So I take that approach and then I just talk to them. Like I tell them my story. Like I understand you might have the D1 aspirations. Everybody does in basketball, right? I did. However, if you Google me to this day, you won't see stupid college stats or anything like that because I didn't take it serious in high school. You know, I was playing around, getting in trouble, fighting. I had a kid at 16, so I wasn't taking school serious. I didn't start taking school serious until maybe my freshman year when I was actually in college.
Right.
And I went to a D3 at that time, and from there I just started working. Got to transfer to Grambling, and then like I said, I paid and went to camps. And from them camps, I got to go overseas. So if I can get them to buy into taking the opportunities that they have now, regardless if it's D3, D1, D2, whatever, you can make anything out of that opportunity as long as you put the work in. Because that's what people gonna grade. People gonna grade the work. Like you could be D1 and D3. If you putting up the same numbers but you working hard, eventually it's gonna show. Like at some point y'all gonna meet and it's gonna have to be one or the other. So what are you gonna do to put yourself over that loop? And it could be the nutrition part. You could be eating good and this person over here eating hamburgers and such. And at the end of the fourth quarter in the high leverage game is gonna show up. So just having them to really just think about your options, like, okay, yes, D1 is a possibility for everybody. I want that for you. But at the same time, if you had this opportunity to go play Why not?
Yeah.
And then you got to think about the coach. Like I said, Josh Howard is our coach. That's the NBA
NBA
player,
certified,
you know what I'm saying?
bona fide.
We have Chris Paul, Donald Sloan, like they come to our practices, play around with you. So that's just networking right there.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if you don't ever get to that D1 level that you aspire to, you have to think that you have a coach now that has access to get you in those doors, whether it be camps, workouts, combines, whatever, you've made that connection.
Right.
So just taking the opportunity is
Man.
what I always preach.
That's powerful, man. And you talked about it earlier, and you said it again, the word access.
Mm-hmm.
Something, and these kids have a lot of access. They have almost too much.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that kind of stunts their growth? They feel like, oh, we got shoe machines, we got this, we got that. So too many options. Now I just do nothing, or I take it for granted. Do you think that somewhat hurts a kid versus coming from an era where, you know, you had to scrap and scrounge for everything? Like you was hunting runs and trying to figure out how to get in the gym and sneak in the gym and do whatever it took to get better, while they got it at the push of a button. Do you think that hurts the game a little bit?
I think that's kind of like the slippery slope that we're going down. We're giving them more opportunities based off, you know, of course we want it to be better than what we had.
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, it's stunning their work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
And I always, like I tell my kids, y'all got $1 billion dreams with minimum wage work.
That's facts.
Because that's literally how you work. Like you want to get in there and say, okay, I'm a pro, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. But at the same time, you're not putting forth the effort.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of going around it because you know, well, I got this, I can do this tomorrow, I can do this time, or I can, however you want to put it, but it don't really work out that way. So I definitely believe that it's killing that work because they don't know how to do certain stuff. Like it's a lot of kids now that I can go talk to and be like, oh yeah, like just talking as of, I've been in an NBA practice before. I've been in a professional practice before. I've been overseas where it's a language barrier.
Yeah.
You kind of gotta go with it. And coaches at that level, even in a college level, aren't gonna take the time to sit and tell you, hey, this, that, and the third. And I try to teach my kids that now. Like when I come into practice and I'm just telling you what to do, you should already know in your mind what it is. Like if I say, okay, we're gonna do a flare cut, and off that flare cut, a banana cut, a slice cut, and then into a DHO. What is a DHO?
Right. Now you're looking at me like I'm really speaking something different.
You should know DHO, dribble handoff.
Right.
Like, you should know these things already, but they don't because they don't take the time. They just see it. Like they just see the glamour side of it. And I had that talk with a kid the other day, like when he was like, well, I was like, why are you shooting so much? And your percentage is going down when you shooting all these threes. He was like, well, I'm a shooter. And I watch Steph, that's my favorite player. He a shooter. I was like, yes, but how many times? And I asked him, so what's your high percentage? Like, where are you most effective on the floor?
You know what spots.
And I was like, so how are you going to say you're a shooter, but you don't know what spots you're most effective in? Like it should be a time where you go on the court. If you got a shooting gun, you set up a shooting gun for all 5 spots. And you just go down each 5 spot and see which one you have the highest percentage. That way, when you in the game, you know, okay, well, from the wing, I was 90%, but from the corner, I was 50. I need to shoot my shots from the wing versus taking it, because you'll have a high percentage of making more shots and being effective. And that's what it is. And all the kids, they rave about KD. I'm cool on KD. I'm a LeBron fan myself. But KD is good, but I have to tell him, like, it's the effectiveness of how he plays. Just he takes shots. I had one kid that had 35, but he took 40 shots. That's not an effective game.
No.
Like, you're supposed to have 45. Like, if you take that many shots, you're supposed to.
Right.
Now, if you look at my man, out to, like, from a scouting, coaching, business perspective, if I'm looking at the sketch sheet and I'm looking, and you got 32 points, 45 shots, and then it's a kid over here that has 15 points, but he only took 5 shots. I'm taking the kid that only took 5 shots.
Yeah.
He's more effective.
Right. But the sad thing about it, like especially on the high school level, they don't go deep into the shot percentages.
Yes.
Like, so a lot of these kids are developing these bad habits, and ending up with 25 points with 40 attempts and hoisting up,
And
feeling like they're playing, like they're doing something, but it's not there.
I think Texas is doing us a disservice in basketball as far as high school basketball because everywhere else they play with a shot clock.
Yeah.
In Texas, you can dribble the ball, which is not helping them translate to the next
right.
game.
No.
Because you're going to have to go from having all these dribbles and being able to take your time with your offense to getting in college to having 30 seconds.
You got to use your mind.
And you have to use it to actually, okay, if I dribble down the court, I'm going to have 10 seconds already out there shot clock. Now I'm in half court and it's 20 seconds left.
Right,
so I got 20 seconds to run the whole set or 1-2 dribble and get my shot off. Which a lot of kids, they doing 6 and 7, 8 dribbles. You're not gonna get that.
No, that's not. That's definitely not happening.
You're gonna get 1 or 2 moves. And you have to get off the ball. To make your shot. So I really feel like they're doing a disservice in Texas basketball without having that shot clock.
Man, that hurts. That hurts. So talk about HBCU, like your life at Grambling, like on the court, off the court. Coach Raz at HBCU,
PVU.
I wouldn't go into no HBCU. I needed a little bit of. I needed some diversity, man. I grew up in diverse. My dad threatened me with a HBCU. I'm gonna send you to an HBCU. I was like, damn.
That's crazy. To me, it wasn't really no difference. Because of course I went to Carter, so I was used to being around my people. And then I've been going to Grambling since I was like 4. My dad played for Eddie Robinson. My uncles played for Eddie Robinson. My other uncle was in the band. My dad met my mom at Grambling.
Okay.
So
it was you had no choice.
It was automatic. It was automatic.
It was natural. But I definitely love the environment. It gives you a different feel. Like of course, playing at a D1 university is great. And of course they have fans.
The facilities and all that.
But the feel is a little bit different at a HBCU. And I just wish more people would support our kids going to HBCUs because, for the simple fact, it gives them a sense of basically where we came from.
Yeah, a sense of belonging, home.
It gives them a sense of history. Like Willis Reed, he won a national championship. Like people don't know that, but you wouldn't know that if you didn't, because they're not teaching that.
Yeah, they're not putting that out there for people.
They're not teaching that. So going and then actually playing in those historic arenas. Having a band at the game playing. So it's basically like being in a football game.
Right.
But it's a basketball game. Then you have, the Greeks, you got the Omegas, the Kappas, the Sigmas, the Deltas. You have all them around the court strolling during the timeouts. So it's just a different feel.
Yeah, different feel, totally.
Gives you a different sense of adrenaline because it's cool to be getting cheered by 40 plus thousand people, but when it's your people,
it's
intimate, people like they're gonna ride with you,
right?
Push come to shove, like they drive literally. Like if you have a game wherever, they will drive. Like, and that's one thing I love about HBCU. They travel with you. Like that many people don't travel. Yeah, you might have the people that's in wherever city you playing that went to the school, like the alumni, they'll come to the games, but no, like they travel with you, like. Jackson State, Grambling State, Prairie View, like they go wherever you going, they tailgating. So after the game, it's like a family reunion. Everybody out eating. You got the seafood, whatever, basically. So it's just like a big family. So I always encourage kids to go, like just to get that experience. Of course, there's nothing wrong with PWI, or nothing wrong with a major university, but just being at a HBCU gives you a different sense of
belonging and outlook.
You just feel good. Like I done met some of the coolest people I know at HBCU.
Lifelong friends. You make lifelong friends.
Right. But you can do that everywhere.
Right.
It's just different when you can be more relatable.
Right.
So what are some ways that you feel that the support can expand to get higher level players to HBCU? Because you heard Percy Miller, he went out to Tennessee State and then end up transferring because of lack of facilities. So, you have that balance. I think the heart is there where, Mikey Williams was talking about he wanted to go to HBCU, he ended up going to Memphis. So I think people have the desire in their heart to want to go to that environment, to be, amongst their people. But when you're comparing it to a PWI, Power 5, big school with all the facilities and trainers and extra coaches that can do whatever for you, how do we get on that level? Because, Dion, he up in Colorado. So it's like financially, facilities, like environment, how do we get it to a level playing field, or even if that's even possible? Maybe we're speaking something and want something that's not even feasible.
I think that I'm a lot of people aren't, but I'm okay with starting off with the move Dion made.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I'm okay with that simply for the fact that what he did at Jackson State, he turned the whole program around.
Yeah, he made an impact.
And now you got to think, even though he left, they still was on game day on TV. They still had those same resources that he brought there coming in. They still had the uniforms. They still had the sponsors. So it's much better than it was when he left. Now the next person that comes in just has to continue to build upon that.
For sure.
But even with him leaving now, he opened the door, because now you got to think, okay, with him coaching at Colorado, let's say once or twice a year, his first 2 games is against HBCU.
Yeah, that's big.
You look at that. He brought the head coach from Mississippi Valley with him to Colorado. So he gave him an opportunity to be on a bigger scale. So I think that was a great move. But leveling it out, I don't think it'll ever be leveled to where most people want it to be. And I say that because it's so different as far as how everything is maneuvered on the business side of things.
And it's the reality of society.
Right. Right.
That's reality.
I think it should start with the alumni. Like, if you think about the Power 5 schools and the D1 top schools, all their alumni, they come back, but they don't just come back for the homecomings and the Spring Fest. They actually come back with their resources that they've gotten over the years. Versus our people, we'll come and we'll show.
Yeah, we'll party
once a year for homecoming.
We'll come and be on a party flyer or something.
When it comes to having those meetings where we looking at funding and trying to get this done, they don't show up.
Yeah.
So it starts with that part, and I think if we all did that, then it would level it out to an extent. And I think they should just branch off and have that whole separate entity. Like, I would be a fan of how you have the NCAA and then you have the NAIA. I would be a fan of having just the HBCU league where all the HBCUs compete.
And a tournament and all that.
A national tournament, all of that. And that would put, because now you put a competitiveness to it versus, okay, we can win our conference championship, but let's say right now, let's say Grambling or PV, let's say they win the SWAC, and then they go play in the NCAA tournament. That first game, they playing Duke.
Yeah, right. Straight ahead. I mean, I saw Texas. I think it was TSU. They played who they played last year. I watched the game. They played somebody big. A number 1 seed. So it's like, I think Kansas, but maybe that's what it's going to take. Like, maybe it's going to take some upsets happening.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because somebody's going to the tournament every year. Yeah. It needs to be a upsets and maybe a deep run, which could potentially draw the talent. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. Like the Jimmies and the Joes, the players is what makes the entity. Right. And I tell all these kids out here now, looking at high schools and AAU programs and all that, I'm like, bro, that it's you make the team. Like these schools ain't popping unless certain kids are there. Right. So if that same mentality gets to the next level, maybe that would boost the stock.
And then it goes back to that work ethic part. Because a lot of kids, they don't want to. They have a sense of, I gotta go, especially if they have pro aspirations.
Yeah.
Whether it be NBA, D League, overseas, whatever, they feel like they have to go to the Texases, Oklahomas, Dukes in order to get to that level. So I think if we change and shift that mindset to saying, hey, like, it don't matter where you go. If you're a player, you're a player.
For sure.
They gonna find
right.
No matter where you go.
But I think what Dion did well too it's the media. Like, I think the media that draws eyes to the players, because everybody wants exposure.
Yes.
So they want, all the bells and whistles of the school, and that comes with the bigger schools. But knowing that they're going to be on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, you go to Texas, they got their own network. So I think by dumping, like if Tyler Perry, you know what I mean? Somebody who's in the media space or in the studio space will develop something for the HBCU athletes to be on like a national televised program.
Right.
I think that would be a good draw as well.
Yes. That's also even the mindset of the presidents, the athletic directors, the people that's over social media marketing. Like even with them, you have to just shift that mindset because I know a lot of people. Like when I was there, it was like it don't make no point. Like why we even playing them? Like,
It felt like that. Yeah,
we don't lose anyway, so why we playing them? Like this is just a money game.
Yeah,
it's a game for us to go get money for us to get something next year. Like we have to change that mindset. Somebody has to just have to say, you know what? I might fail. We might not get it the first time. We might not get it right the first time. It might flop. But let's just go out, step out on faith, and let's just create this and see how it goes. And by doing that, it's going to trickle down. People saying, you know what? Dang, that kind of made sense. Look what Jackson State did over there. Let us try that. Look what they did. Let us try that. And now all the schools will start to say, okay, well, they got a little success doing this. Now let's all do it. And once everybody as a collective starts putting that resources and that money into saying, okay, we just gonna try this and see how it works. If it don't work, cool. We can go back to the drawing board. We already know where we are.
For sure.
So it can't get no worse.
Yeah, we gotta build on it.
But
that's real.
We can add value to it by doing, you know what I'm saying? Let's just say we do a camp during the summer. Let's have all the kids play in the summer or whatever the case may be and do like a summer league, right? And then just give them that exposure for that summer league.
Right.
And even if it's just a couple of games, just give them that. We can stream it on YouTube, whatever, and just see how many following you get, and then build upon that to where you can add it into. Okay, let's try this for the regular season. Let's stream it on YouTube. Let's hit up Fox. Let's hit up all these different streaming services because you can get so much done on the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
All these influencers that have millions of followers. Hey, can we, pay you this much to stream this amount of games on your platform? Do it versus. Talk to them about it to see, hey, look, we got games. We want to get these kids looked at nationally. Would it be cool if we stream this amount of games on your platform for however long? And just see how it adds and how it goes up. And then you got to think a lot of these HBCUs, they really don't even have like IGs. And if they do, like Instagram, if they do, they're rarely on it.
Yeah, so they're not super active on it.
Right. They have to catch up with the times. Like, okay, most of the Power 5 big schools, you can see like they have these reels and different things where they're doing workouts and they sweating and it's appealing.
Yeah,
like,
they're marketing.
You have to catch the kids and what they're into. And you got to think, like, if we was to go to the mall right now, or even if we was to go have a family dinner, all our kids would be sitting there. So they gonna see it if you put it out there. Right. If you put it out there, they're going to see it, but we just not put it out there. So
why do you think that is? Like why do you think that that's not happening? And the collective, like why don't we see that on that level? Why don't we even see that on the local level? Why do our people tend to shy away from collective partnerships?
Competition. Greed, it kind of goes into like training. For example, like we train, y'all have a training facility. I train, but I also come here and I still work out. And a lot of people that I know that train be like, bro, why you go over there? Why you work out? Why you pay them? And stuff. And in my mind, I'm like, why wouldn't I? Like, they black owners, they got a business, they doing good stuff. I know that they're teaching good habits, so why not? Like, why wouldn't I promote y'all? I just got somebody the other day that stays on this side and was like, hey, I'm looking for a trainer. Why would I have you drive away to Grand Prairie when you can just come right here? And it's 15 minutes.
Right.
Like, that makes no sense for me. Now, it'd be different if y'all weren't doing the quality work.
Makes sense.
And of course, all right, come on to Grand Prairie because, they're not good. But it's almost like by sharing information or by partnering together, they feel like they're gonna miss out on something.
They feel like they taking food off their plate.
Right. When it's so much so much stuff we can do together than we can do individually. Because I train, you train. However, we two different types of players.
For sure.
Like, you might be more of a finesse shooter type of player. I'm more of an aggressive. I'm getting into your body. But by me coming to you and still working out and then watching how y'all do, like, I pick up on different stuff that y'all do versus I could teach it in a different way. Because my kids might not be getting how I'm trying to deliver it.
Right.
However, if I look at, like, what you guys have, okay, well, look, I know a coach, he showed it to me like this. They might pick up on that. So I'm all for me personally picking up different styles because it's more than one way to skin a cat.
That's fact.
Yeah.
Right. So the more you have, in my mind, just makes you an all around player. Like, if I pick up on your style, how you play, I have my style of play, and then you have your style of play. That's 3 different eras of playing. So when I'm on the court and I'm with my era, I can hit you from 3 different ways, and you're gonna be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Like, but people don't think like that, and I think that's kind of where it is. Like, they feel like by helping each other and by partnering with each other, it's gonna take something from them. But however, you have to accept that you don't have it all.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I had to accept, like, I'm not a business person like that. That's just not. I'm not wired to think the business part of running the business. Because of course, on the back end, it's more than just training.
Yeah, it's more than the creative side.
The paperwork, you got all this stuff that has to be in line for it to function successfully. I'm not good with that. However, the person that I partner with is. So me picking up on that, we partnering right now, but that's not my end all be all. Like, of course, I want to branch off and have my own building and et cetera by myself. But by me partnering with him, I'm learning those things now that I probably wouldn't have, or it would have took me longer to learn versus me trying to pick up a book and reading it versus me actually having a conversation with him like, hey, how you do this? What you think about doing this? We really just going back and forth, like bouncing off each other, giving each other ideas. Because iron sharpens iron. Like, that's a fact. Like, so I think people just have to be open to saying, you know what? I don't know how to do it, but Keith does. So let me go holler at Keith and see what he thinks. And then do that knowing that Keith is genuinely going to come and say, okay, yeah, cool. I don't have no problem showing you with this. And both parties have to be at a point to where they can meet and say, all right, it's not taking nothing from me. It's not taking nothing from you. But if we collectively do this, who knows what can come from it, right?
That's real.
Because that's real. Like, just even like, let's say if we was to do the little camp out with somebody during the summer, you would have, of course, your business side and my business attached to it. But us, by doing that together, we can touch so many different people.
For sure.
You feel me? And then we live in Dallas. Like, it's only so many places to go hoop in Dallas, to be honest with you. So if you think about training facilities, you have this one, you have Drive Nation, you have us and Bridge, which is at Duncanville Fieldhouse. Those are 4 different areas in Dallas. Like, they're about 20 miles away from each other. So those touch different demographics. Like, if I stay by the airport, I'm not gonna drive.
That makes sense. Yeah,
it don't make sense.
Yeah,
so you gotta think like, okay, like even if we do that, like, what you have to be strong in what you do, and that's really why, like, my shirt I have on there says I'm him, because I stand in that. Like, I don't care who you go to. I firmly believe that nobody is going to enhance your game the way I am, because I come at a different type of level. I relate to you on the court and off the court. So you get more than basketball. You getting the basketball training, you get the just knowledgeable information as far as the X's and O's, and then you also get that life experience. Because you can talk to me and I can go down, like, through you with almost every situation you can say that you're going through right now in high school. I done went through. You feel me? So even with the kids, like with girls and stuff like that, like, I can help you navigate that. Like I said, I had a kid at 16, so I had to be a daddy and be a student at the same time. And who? So
you kept going.
Right. Like, I can navigate. They'd be like, well, I want to go D1. Well, I didn't go D1, but I still want to see. Got a chance.
It's about perspective, and that's what you're doing. It's about giving people different perspective and getting them to see that it's not just one way.
Right.
And so by having different minds pouring into them lets them know, okay, well, this person did it this way and they were successful. This person did this way. Yeah, there's not one straight line to the top. Yeah, this goes this way, and then there's another one that go this way. So as long as you're progressing, you're gonna make it. As long as you're put forth the effort and you have the vision and you stay resilient through it all, God's gonna have whatever God has for you is for you.
For you.
Yeah, it's for you. It's waiting for you. And a lot of people just stop.
Yeah.
They stop moving.
Right when you about to get it, they break off.
They break off.
It's okay to fail.
It is. You learn the most through failures, man.
A lot of people don't think like when they fail they quit, but that's a part of the experience.
For sure.
Like if I would have quit, like I had my own facility at one point, but it just didn't work because, like I said, I didn't have the whole business side of everything. So to me, it was just waking up, going in there, getting my kids in. But it's a whole nother side of it. I could have just said, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't doing it no more. Or even like training these kids. I could have said, nah, bro, I'm not no trainer. I'm hooping. But at the same time, like, you got to realistically, like, I'm not for the hoop. So I'm 60.
Right.
Like, I would love to.
Right.
I might just be playing for fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a competitor.
Not competitive.
I'm not hooping until I was 60. And it really took me last year when I broke my foot, it really took me breaking my foot to really just sit in there. Like, I have to learn other ways to deliver the same message because it's more than one way to do it, and I'm not going to always be able to do it this way. And I had to learn that literally because I'm a hands-on person.
Yeah.
I'm used to when I'm in sessions, look, this is how you do this move. You got to get down low and you got to bring it back, and your foot placement is here and you do this. But when I broke my foot, I was on a knee scooter. So I couldn't walk. So I can't show you.
You couldn't do it, yeah. Yeah, because even when you're in the sessions, when you train it, like when I explain something, you got that look and you like, and I can really say like you're into it and you're like, some people just kind of like, they just do it, right? You're like really mapping it out. You're envisioning it. You'll walk through it a couple times before you go full speed. So I can tell you're really embracing the moment in that particular situation.
Breaking my foot, I could not do that.
Yeah.
So I literally had to just, and I got so frustrated. Like, and then I had just got partnered with somebody to do a Nike camp. So I was like, man, how am I fit to do this camp?
So you gotta learn a different way.
And I can't.
You can't, yeah.
Frustrated. I was like, no.
And you was trying to explain it. You were trying to talk slow, and they were just words.
So man, when I tell you that was kind of like the biggest learning experience I had in a couple of years. I literally had to learn how to look, slow it down, and I had to learn how to talk through it. Like, right. Do it, which that helps now because as a coach, as a trainer, you have to have patience, and they gave me a new level of patience with my kids and learning how to they might not get it how I'm showing. Like, even though I'm showing them, they might not get it. They might be, and then it's so many different types of learning. You have visual, it's like 4 different types of learners that you have. So being able to appeal to all of those helps on so many different levels. Right. You can translate that into the HBCU culture. Just, you know what? This demographic, they might understand this way, so we're going to give them this. This demographic, they might understand this way, so we're going to give them this. And then you just all have it working together. I think that'll enhance the culture of people going to HBCU, so to speak. And then, of course, we have to have people doing what they say they're going to do. You know, we got to have them taking accountability, taking care of the money, doing what they say they're going to do with the money. And I think that's another stigma that people have. Like, okay, I can go, but when I'm going to get robbed in the process. Right. Am I going to get robbed from it? So those are 3 things I think are the biggest thing. And then the work ethic, like I said, players don't really want to go. Like, understand that first 2 years you're there, you're going to really have to grind it out. Right. And players don't do that these days. No. Like, they move around, and even in AAU, and things don't happen the way you want. They jump. Then they jump. It's options. And they get their foot straight. Team to team. And that's why we have a transfer portal. Right. That's real. And I was explaining it yesterday to a group is you're running, you're hopping around, but the thing that you're running from is your reflection. You don't realize it. You don't realize that the thing that you're running away from is the very thing that you're looking at.
hard work.
Hard work. It's commitment, discipline, all the things that you can control. You're running away from that, hoping that this situation won't hold you accountable to those things.
Right.
But those things aren't going to go away because you need those things in all aspects of life.
Yeah.
Family, business, sports, whatever it is, you got to be disciplined. You got to work hard. You got to put the time in. Like, it's no overnight success.
Yes.
And people just want to be able to put a jersey on and take a magic pill and morph and be in the NBA. But no, it's time. Right?
You can't be afraid of that gap between reality and your goals or your dreams. There's a gap there between that. And you got to go through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what kids don't realize.
They don't realize it.
That's what they're missing.
And that's the social media piece.
Yeah.
They just see.
Yeah, they see the graphic. They see the reel. They're like, that's it. That's it.
They see the end results. They see the contracts, the NIL deals, and the shoe deals. They don't see the journey that it took. They don't see the failure, the sitting on the bench.
Yeah, right. The sleepless nights and
they don't see that part. And so that's kind of what it is. If they just really embrace the fact that, you know what, I'm gonna go to this school. My first year, I might not play. I might not play at all.
Yeah.
I might not touch the floor. I might get red shirt.
Yeah.
But guess what? That's typically how it's going to work if you go to a D1 anyway. You're not going to play that first year, especially if you're going to like a Duke and they got, 7 returning juniors. You're not playing.
Yeah.
Unless you just
that guy.
Right. You're not playing, so you're going to sit out a year anyway.
Right.
So what's the difference between sitting out a year at a D1 and sitting out a year at HBCU? Other than the fact
that you got all the gear and you're in a big facility.
But you get more. I believe you get more of in touch with what it is you need to work on versus being in the D1. Yeah, you gonna sit out there. You might have the facilities and stuff, but it's just gonna really be you.
Yeah,
just sitting in there versus being in the HBCU. Yeah, you sitting out and you redshirting, but you going through a specific phase, and you have people that's gonna sit and go with you. Like your coaches, they're gonna literally be in it with you. And I've never known an HBCU coach that wants to hold the kid. Like, nah, you gotta stay here.
Yeah.
Like if you go and you're D1 level player. If you go and let's say that's where you start, that's not necessarily where you're going to finish.
Yeah, they should advocate for you.
They want growth from you. They want the best for you at the same time. First, I know a lot of kids that go to D1 universities to where if they don't fit in that system, the coach ain't going to say nothing. They either just going to take that scholarship and bring somebody else in and be the end of it, or they just going to sit at the end of the bench.
Right.
Which that's not really helping you versus going somewhere where they're going to actually be like, okay, we done did everything we can for you here. You got offers from here. Here you go.
Yeah, fostering that relationship and their development,
right?
For the betterment of their future.
Right. Like, and then if it don't work, I done seen coaches be like, "Hey, look, our system and the way you play just don't work." However, my friend is a coach here. They have a system that'll be perfect, which we think is best that you transfer here. It's a win-win at that point.
It's a huge win.
It's a win-win, and that happens in the NBA. If you look at what's his name, THT, that played for the Lakers, he is a baller. However, him playing with LeBron, you're not gonna know he's a baller because it just don't.
He got traded. He was in Minnesota now. Yeah,
it just don't work because
he's not gonna have the opportunity. Yeah.
So they traded him. I understand why they traded him.
Yeah.
That was in his best interest.
Right.
And the team's best interest. Like, we're not going to be able to use you because we got LeBron. And you're not really going to be happy here sitting on the bench.
Makes sense.
You had a couple games where LeBron ain't played and you showed you. So now, what is...
It's like the thing like with D'Angelo Russell. You know what I mean? Like he was drafted number 2, and now he's back. He's a whole different beast, and he's like, what do you remember from your first stint with the Lakers? I remember Kobe. I remember being all about him, and rightfully so. But and you see it not only with him, but even like Brandon Ingram, like a lot of players who go to the Lakers, they may not be ready for that at that time.
Exactly.
but then they go somewhere else where they have a bigger role, a bigger responsibility,
Exactly.
and now they're able to gain their confidence versus let me just defer to Kobe, let me just defer to LeBron, and I never really get a feel for the game, right? So
point.
It's almost best to go somewhere where there's no star, where you can be the guy,
you can be the
you
star.
can be the star and learn and grow and be in a leadership position and figure it out, and then go join a super team later if that's what you want to do. You know what I mean?
It's all mindset across every board.
Yeah.
Just how to do it. Even with players that go to, I'm gonna go to the NBA with. If I'm at the NBA, I can still play the D League. Which the D League is cool, but you can get stuck in the D League. And people don't understand that. I have that type of kids too. It's just out of college and I don't want to go overseas because I got these D League looks. I mean, it's cool. Like, I get it, but you can get stuck.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, you got to look at the business side of it. When she played, and I have a friend that actually kind of went through the same. He played in the D League for the Denver Nuggets. And it was around the same time they drafted Emmanuel Mudiay. They played the same position. So, D League games, he would be doing good, 20 plus a game, right? And then when they send Emmanuel Mudiay down, he got set on the bench.
Yeah.
And then you can do about that.
But at the same time, it's hurting your average.
Yeah.
Because now your average is going down because instead of playing at 20 minutes, you're only playing 2 minutes, so you're only scoring 2 points. So now when teams look at your average, they look
like what happened?
Like, he ain't as good as we thought he was. But it ain't that. It's just that when they send him down, he gonna play.
He's priority.
And you gonna sit on the bench. So, I mean, overseas, you that guy.
Yeah,
especially if you come from America, they gonna look at you. It don't matter if y'all got a language barrier or not. Pass the ball, such.
Yeah, we're paying this dude to be.
Right, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
So it's just mindset. When you change that mindset of everybody, I think everything will start to come together. We really just have those conversations and sit down and say, look, it don't matter where you go. If you that guy, you that guy.
That's
if
it.
Him, be him.
That's it. I love that. I'm him.
I am him.
So with that being said, Jay, as we wrap up, man, how has the Kingdom community impacted you in your journey?
And all around, honestly, like I said, I know playing wise when I'm playing, I know I can come here, I get quality work, and I know it's gonna be beneficial to what I'm doing or what I'm trying to do in the game. As well as being a businessman, I can come and I watch y'all reels, I share y'all information, and I look and just sit and talking basketball with you. I pick up on, stuff like, okay, cool. This is how he does it. This is how they do it. Okay, that might work. Let me try it on this side. And then you guys just genuinely have a passion for the community, which I love that because I'm all about it. Like you guys have the autism camp that you guys do, which I believe is beautiful. I have a special education certification in teaching. So that's like lovely to me to see that y'all are not only just trying to help the basketball community, but just trying to help the community in general.
Yes, sir.
Through basketball teams, through camps, through work. Y'all do the little IB.
Yep.
So it's the educational piece, and I see why it's an academy because it's more than just one thing. Y'all really trying to enhance the basketball culture, which is what I'm all about.
Man, Jay, that's real, man. I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate you, bro, man. Like, ever since we met years ago, when he was coming up to...
How did y'all meet?
He was coming up, I don't know how he connected, but he was coming up to the apartment complex.
Oh, the apartment?
Yes, he had braids and I had a fro.
Man.
So that's how you know. Yeah, he was coming up there and training. He was training with the vest. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't know how he found us.
Yeah.
But he was coming up there years ago. Yeah.
How did you find us?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, because it wasn't like social media was like really that crazy. Yeah, so he was back then, bro. So yeah, Jay has been a solid since day one. Stand-up guy. Always stayed down, stayed the course. Like, I just love what you're doing, man. You're involved in so many different things. You do a good job of managing your time. You got a family. Like, you at the college level, you do so much. And, you should be celebrated, bro. So, man, we appreciate you and all that you do for the community, bro. And, again, we got to continue to grind, work together. Hopefully we can, put some events together in the future and collaborate. But, man, just keep doing your thing, man. Love you and the fam, man. And let's just keep getting it, bro.
Appreciate it.
That's
Yes,
it.
sir.
That's it. All right.
Appreciate you.
J5.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget about the Kingdom Kingdom Performance shorts, tie-dye.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
words.